I have a problem with my Rockpals Freeman 600-watt power station. The CP, the cooling fans wouldn't shut off. So I didn't even have anything plugged into the unit. The unit was not charging. And all I did was move it and the fan started turning on. Couldn't figure out why. I let the power run all the way down, hoping that it would reset itself. And it never would. I tried looking for options to do a factory reset. I couldn't find anything on this model. Rockpals just went out of business not too long ago, so I can't call customer support. And yeah, so I took it apart. I don't know very much about electrical, so it's not like I had really too much experience to figure it out. But took it apart to see if I could see anything wrong. I jiggled the wires around, seeing if that would do anything. Nothing changed. I unplugged the main power, and I'm not sure if that did a factory reset or not. No, it's still unplugged actually. I plugged it back in after waiting a little while, and nothing changed. So I ended up just yanking the fans out, which isn't the best idea, except the fans almost never come on anyway because I don't charge from the wall. I charge from the accessory outlets in my van. So yeah, leaving it, disconnecting the master power for about 5 minutes didn't do anything. I'm trying to leave it unplugged longer to see if that changes. Another interesting thing is, from the factory, it showed the temperature, which I guess is the main battery temperature. I'm not exactly sure, but it showed the temperature in Fahrenheit. And pressing all the buttons and doing all the things, trying to do a factory reset, somehow I changed it to Celsius. And I can't figure out how to change it back to Fahrenheit. And after I disconnected the main power for about 5 minutes and reconnected it, it was still in Celsius. So that's one reason why I don't think it actually did not sure, but it doesn't seem like it did a factory reset if it's still in Celsius. When I did plug the main power back in, the internal power from the batteries to the board, all of the indicators on the menu did light up. So that's not something that's normal just from powering on and powering off the normal way. That's the first time I've ever seen that done. So at first when it did that, I thought it did a factory reset, but it still being in Celsius makes me think it didn't. So the way to take this apart is there's 6 Allen screws in the back, and then also on the bottom there's a sticker. You have to take off the sticker or else the 2 halves won't come apart. And once you have those, you just slide these 2 halves apart. There's a connector on the board for the AC outlets. Disconnect that connector and the back half comes off. Then the fans are supposed to be right there. Slide in and out of place. They connect to the PC board right there. Top and bottom corners. The top slides in and out easy to give you access. Didn't really want to pull too hard taking the front part off, but it's kind of hard to get into the connections on that board because of this upper shelf. So this comes off on the side to make it a little easier for those. Same thing with this side, the grill. Make it a little bit easier. But it's still not very easy to get into. This is the main power from the batteries to the board. So I think I've had it unplugged for about 10 minutes now. So I'll try to set the phone right here while I plug it in. Phone's not gonna stay. There we go. Yeah. Kind of lame, sorry about that. Yep, see everything lights up. Turn on the power and it's still in Celsius. Also shows that the capacity is at, that lighting wasn't very good anyway. But also shows that the battery capacity is at 34%. Before I unplugged that connector and plugged it back in, it was only about 18%. So I'm not sure what the issue is with that. Yeah, so I'm kind of frustrated. Couldn't find anything on Rockpals with cooling fans that wouldn't turn off. And I also did a search for power stations with fans that won't turn off. Could not find anything. So these being computer type fans, did a search for computer fans won't turn off. They said things like they might be dirty, and these, like I said, almost never run because I don't, except very rarely, charge from AC. I always charge from the accessory outlets in my van. So they almost never get used, and there's practically no dust on them. They're pretty much unused. I wouldn't doubt if they've ran a total of less than 5 hours since I bought it over 2 years ago. I've had this unit for about 25 months. Yeah, so I'm frustrated. Yeah, so like I said, I did a search for computer fans wouldn't turn off. Said clean them, update the drivers or BIOS, which I don't know of any way I can do that with this. There shouldn't be any updates. And it doesn't look like there's any way to do a factory reset other than maybe a hard reset by disconnecting power, but even that doesn't look like it's actually done anything. And another thing, they said possible faulty power supply, which I'm not exactly sure. I know what a power supply is in a computer. I'm thinking maybe that might be my power supply there. But if something was wrong with the power supply, you would think there would be other issues with this unit other than just fans that won't turn off. And that's my only problem, is the fans didn't want to turn off. Alright. So, kind of hope somebody might have an answer for me, being that Rockpals doesn't have customer support anymore because they're out of business. But also, there was no videos about this unit being tore apart. So for somebody with no knowledge on these things, it might at least give a little bit of insight.